Hi everyone, today I thought that I would sit down and do a couple different videos. So I just did a things I've been doing in quarantine, and I wanted to do a book review on this guy. This is The Hero and the Crown by Robin Mckinley. And I just kind of wanted to sit down and talk about it. It's the latest read that I've done. I have been on this kind of fantasy kick, and I wanted classic fantasy, which this is. So this story follows a princess named Erin, or Erin. It's A-E-R-I-N. I call her both Erin and Erin. So let me know in the comments down below if you know how to... Oh wait. Is there like a... There is not a pronunciation guide in the back of it, which kind of stunk. But let's go ahead and get into the review. So this follows Erin, who's a princess, and it follows her kind of desire to kind of prove herself. So she is the daughter of a witch, and she is not looked on very highly in her village and her kingdom. They kind of call her the witch woman's daughter, and she kind of gets terrorized by a few cousins, and she gets kind of goaded into eating this magical leaf that makes her sick and nearly kills her. And she ends up just kind of going on this quest. She finds this book on dragons, and she reads it, and she's like, well, why don't I try to find, it has this secret salve. I forget what it's called. Should have written that down. But this salve that makes you kind of fireproof, and so you put it all over yourself and you can go fight a dragon and not have to worry about its fire. And so she goes ahead and she concocts many batches of this, and she eventually gets it right, and she goes ahead and fights dragons against her father's will. So she's, lady of the court. She shouldn't be, she's the heir to the throne. She's the only heir to the throne, and she's also a woman. So she should not be fighting dragons, and she does this without asking anybody. She's like, I'm gonna go, to the village, and she goes and kills dragons. But when she comes back, her father's like, I'm actually, really mad at you because you did this without my permission, but at the same time, can you teach me how to make that fire salve? Yes. So he's actually very, very proud of her, but is so that's awesome. And then when they go off to a battle, before they do that, they get word of this dragon. And apparently, so in this world, they have smaller dragons that's the size of a dog. And they're not very intimidating. They still are not good because they can still breathe fire and create chaos, and they're not very nice creatures. But it's kind of like snakes. They're smaller than you, but don't mess with them. You're terrified of them. Because if there's one dragon, there's always a second dragon. And there's no knowing if there's any baby dragons or baby eggs in that cavern, so you have to make sure that all of them are dead. And once you kill one of them, the other one's gonna come, the mate's gonna come out and fight you, so you can't really forget about that. But she goes ahead and proves herself. She becomes Erin Dragon Slayer. She gets a little bit of respect from her people, and it's just something she feels really proud of because she never really fit into the mold that her cousin does, who's a lady and, kind of high maintenance, I guess I'll say. So she ends up going on this huge, huge adventure, and it's classic fantasy. The Hero and the Crown, basically so there's an item in here called the Hero's Crown, and it's a crown that was based for the king or the leader of the country that she lives in, the kingdom. And typically, it gave them power. It gave them this thing of nobody could cross them because they would just be smited. Nobody tried to cross this kingdom, and a couple thousand years ago it was lost, and nobody knows where it went. So you get to see kind of where that crown went and who has it now, and if Aowen gets it back, and what happens if she does. So they're really, really high stakes, and I really actually enjoyed this book. I thought it's quite short. It's 225 pages. It's not that big, but if you look, like, it's in small print, so I think it's a lot bigger than 225, because this isn't actually like the size of a book. Just in comparison, it's kind of like not a full-size book, but it's not really a mass, well, I guess it is mass market paperback. Yeah, I guess it's mass market paperback size. So typically they can look shorter, but they're not, or sometimes they can, I don't know guys, I'm tired. Sorry, I'm not thinking straight. But with this, it was so intellectual and heavy that getting 3 pages in was a challenge. And I hadn't really ever had that happen to me before, especially with fantasy. And some of it might be that I'm not motivated to read. I'm in a reading slump, and it's just me. I don't think it was the book, because I do think Robin McKinley did an amazing job with this book. It's just beautiful. The language she used was great. It was just so creative and had like all these like things like Yurig and Tika. I think that's like the salve. Tika or something, or Talia. And I wish there would have been an index at the back to tell us kind of like what it was, how to pronounce it, just to kind of keep track of things, because like there was a liquid in here, and I think it's called Malak, M-A-L-A-K. I don't know what that is. They have it at breakfast, they have it after like a battle. Is it beer? Is it wine? Is it tea? I don't know. So I would really like to have like an index to tell me kind of what is what, because I have nothing to base it off of. But at the same time, maybe that's what Robin wanted. She wanted you to kind of interpret it. She wanted you to interpret what those things were. So I'll have to kind of do more research on that. But all in all, I thought it was a fantastic fantasy. I think it is a must read if you want to get more knowledgeable about classic fantasy. I am though going to be giving this a 3.5 out of 5 stars. The reason I'm going to be doing that is because of my reading slump. It took me like 2 weeks to read this, and it shouldn't have. So there were some days I dreaded opening this book because I knew it was going to take me a long time to read it. Again, if I wanted to do 3 pages, it felt like a mile. And I don't feel like that should be the case when I'm reading. I feel like it should be like that, and then I'm done with the book. So I just based off that, because I do the ratings on how much I enjoyed it. And it's not that I didn't enjoy it, it's just it took me a lot longer, and so I know that I wasn't into it. I wasn't enjoying it as much as I should have. The writing and everything is fantastic. There's nothing like wrong with the book, but I just personally did not enjoy it as much as I should have. That being said, I did like it, and I'm going to give it another try in a couple of months, because I do think I'm just in a reading slump, and this deserves justice. But yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed this kind of review. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and leave me a comment down below, and share this video with a friend. That is the only way that this channel will grow, is if you kind of give it some love. So I will see you guys in my next one. I hope that you guys are staying safe and healthy, and I'll see you guys in my next one.